Can you give us an introduction, tell us who you are, and what inspired you to do puppet shows? Because we got your banner up here, and we want to ask you a few questions about puppet shows, how long you've been doing puppet shows, and how much are some of the puppet shows that some of the characters that you actually have, as far as price-wise.
Oh dear, they're priceless.
And what inspired you to do all of this?
Well, I started about 30 years ago. I worked for the Bob Baker Marionette Theater, but before that my father was an artist, and I grew up around art all my life. He was a very, very famous and fine painter, but one day he got a job called the Helmley's Toy Store. It was getting kind of dusty and dirty, so they hired him to go over to London, England, and redo the whole toy store. And after work, he walked around London and he came across a theater called the Little Angel Theater by John Wright. And it's still running today, even though John is up in the sky now, manipulating us all down here. But my dad got so inspired by the puppet theater that he saw in London that he came running home to me and said, "Hey, let's build a puppet theater together, and you'll be like a gypsy, and you'll go to fairs and festivals, and you'll go all over the world and travel with this gypsy wagon." And I thought, you know, he's kind of crazy. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know, he's got something. I went to Europe after that, and I saw many, many puppet shows, marionette shows in Europe. They're sort of famous. It's over there. It's in Prague. It's in Switzerland. It's in Salzburg, the Salzburg Marionettes. Germany, every town in Germany and Switzerland has puppet shows. Unfortunately, it's a little slow over here. But I got so inspired by the shows in Europe. I came home and I built my wagon and built the shows.
Look at the puppets.
As far as the prices go, they really are priceless for me. They're like my children. I would never sell them. They're very special to me. Without them, I wouldn't have a living. I wouldn't have my joy. These are my joy. These are my love. Most of them are made out of wood. Some of them are made out of a plastic, like a mannequin rubber. She is fully made out of wood. Her tail wiggles and moves.
And look at that, details. Look at that.
She's really something. I like her hairdo. I had to put the seaweed stuff on there. These are the naughty children, the lollipop kids. And then, of course, they're all tangled up right now. After the show, I have to redo everything. These are the little gnomes, the fairy gnomes.
That's really neat.
In the woods.
Well, look at that. Look at how detailed they are.
I work off a bridge, as you can see.
Look at that.
And all the equipment is behind me. That's the soundboard and the light board and the amplifiers. All my controls, my foot pedals are down here. But I work just like the Sound of Music puppets. I work over a bar, and I'm manipulating like that. It's all free up here. There are no computers. We don't do computers. It's all by hand. It's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Marionettes have been around for eons, and everybody thinks, oh, you just got computers up there doing that, and it's by hand. So you can see up in there. There's the angels.
Look at that. And look at how elaborate.
Free up there.
Look at that. I mean, it's all done by hand. Look at this.
Yeah, every one of them.
Everything is done by hand. Look at that.
And costumed.
Look at that. Look at this. I mean, you can't find this kind of detail in a store at all. You just cannot find it.
Nope. Well, you do see it in Europe, and it's quite prevalent in Europe and in Russia. Sometimes I'll do a birthday party for Russian people down in Southern California, and they treat the marionette theater almost like it's holy. They really, it's very reverent to them. They sit and they will have a meal, and then they watch the show, and it's part of their culture. It's ingrained in there. The Russians are big into the puppets. If you go to Moscow, there's puppets parades going on, and giant puppets and puppet theaters. Also in Poland, there's some very famous marionette theaters in Poland that you can go and see. And Prague. In Prague, they have puppets. But I fell in love with it 30 years ago and haven't stopped.
That's nice. What a great story. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And what's your name again?
Lori. I'm Lori Branham with the Puppets and Players Little Theater. You can like me on Facebook. The Puppets and Players Little Theater, it has its own little Facebook thing or a website. I also have a website. But are you from Eugene?
I'm from California, Washington State, so I'm the caregiver for my mom. So there you go.
Cool. Very good.
So there you go. So yeah. So I appreciate your time, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.